is people who have followed you, follow Forbidden Knowledge, follow your ex-husband, they have questioned whether or not you have believed, whether or not you've had any spiritual belief. And for you to say that there was a very dark period in your life where that was not the case, for you to have this reckoning of your life and your soul, that is extremely powerful for everybody listening.
Yeah. I had to talk about it because I was so confused that day. I wasn't feeling bad. I was confused. I'm like, why do I feel guilt right now for asking for help and for that connection back to fill me up and to help me through this? Why am I guilty? And guilt is one of the lowest frequency vibrations that you can walk around in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I got to understand this. So I just wanted to come out to everybody and tell people, like, I believe now you have to have that connection. Everything has to have that connection. And if you are not connected to that, you're lost in this life.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about the spiritual journey, and now with you building a new platform and having this new unfolding in your life, how are you able to manifest when things become so unstable in your life?
God.
Yeah.
No, really though. I would really, that's number one. My connection with God, my connection with myself. You know, it's crazy when you go from a certain way of life and then all of a sudden within an hour it's not that way anymore and everything's gone. Everything that you thought
In an
was,
instant.
like literally like
In an
that.
instant. Yeah.
And I was like, hold on, what? And I'm not saying like, I mean, everybody that was on our employees, staff, Detroit, they're from Detroit. But I had no more employees. I had no more friends. I had nothing. Everything was, boom, gone. And I was like, okay. I was okay because I was rooted in something bigger than me. So that bigger than me assured me that I was okay and I was always going to be okay. And getting out of that, I have a 13-year-old now. It's like I just wanted to normalize his life. So I just focused on that, deeply on that for the next couple months to try to normalize things for him. And I was definitely in fight or flight. I mean, I lost 15 pounds. I was incredibly stressed out. But what I didn't do was abandon myself.
Yeah.
I mean, and what I've learned throughout my time of studying all these modalities and the brain is that you can get into a negative thought pattern, right? And it is okay. You should go there. You should feel your feelings and you should process what you need to process to feel all the emotion, or else it'll get stuck in your body. But don't stay there. The minute that you stay there, I learned this from my spiritual advisor, Chelsea. Emotion only lives in your body 90 seconds.
Yeah.
After 90 seconds, it's the story you tell yourself that makes the emotion stay there. So I would let myself feel all of these feelings of despair and betrayal and grief and confusion, but I would break that pattern so freaking quick.
Yeah.
And I would run outside, connect my hands and feet to the earth's surface and let the sun bathe me and just let it all go and realize, no, everything happens for a divine purpose and reason. All of this had to happen for a divine purpose and reason, and be grateful that it did because it's all happening for you and your highest good because I'm connected. So I know that things now are happening for my highest good, even if it breaks my heart, because I know my path now. It's like a shiny freaking rainbow road that's like literally just there for me. It's a whole different feeling than I've ever had. But I didn't let my neural connections wire those patterns of negativity and thinking badly and becoming a victim and blaming everybody else. No, I didn't let those patterns wire in. I shifted myself to gratitude, thankfulness, and thank you for being a teacher on my path. Thank you for helping me to get to my next level in life.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. I am loving this conversation with you because right now you're pursuing your brain health certification through the Amen University. And I want you to talk about these discoveries that you've made about brain health and neuroscience.
Yeah, well, one of the most interesting things for me is that a woman's brain is completely different than a man's brain. So a woman uses more of her brain than a man does.
Well, we knew that. Amen.
No, like literally.
Didn't we know that? Didn't we know that? Lord, we are the smarter species. But go ahead, Elizabeth. You didn't say that, I did.
Well, our corpus callosum, which is the connector of nerves between the both hemispheres, is 25% bigger than a man's. So our brain wiring is always shifting and going back and forth, where a man's brain is kind of working back to front. And they work a lot in their cerebellum and a lot in their planning mode. So they're like visionaries. They're very one one thing. Ever try to have a man multitask?
Yeah.
It's like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I can do like 5,000 things at once, though, because our brains are wired like that. So it's really, for me, what was so interesting is that things are a hardware problem. It's not us, right? So I got my brain scanned, and I found out I got hit in the head with a pistol when I was in Detroit, actually. I got, just like you said, you got carjacked. I got carjacked.
You was pistol whipped.
Yeah, it was crazy. But I have damage there, and my SPECT scan showed it. And Dr. Amen sits down in front of me. He's like, so you're very impulsive, aren't you? I was like, how do you know me? And it's because that's the impulsive area of it controls impulse. And it was damaged. So I started really digging into this stuff. And then I got a brain map done, which maps the waves of your brain, right? You go high gamma, high beta, beta, theta, alpha, delta, right? As all the brain waves. And I realized that through that brain map that I was very high beta. And I was like, my delta was all messed up. My high beta was messed up. And so the neuroscientist sat with me and he was like, so you're very empathetic. Like, you take on everything external and all people's emotions and you take it on like it's yours. It almost destroys you. I'm like, how did you know that? Because my high beta is way overactive. And when you're high beta, you are a huge empath. You can feel everything from everybody. And I realized that people are not just empathetic. That is a hardware issue. That is an issue that you can learn to tailor and train yourself to get out of. So through all of the modalities and that retreat, basically, we did brain training and neurofeedback. And I realized that the 6 months later, I don't feel everybody else anymore. I do still. I take note of it, but I don't take it on like it's mine. Because I got remapped recently, and that high beta is gone. And it's just now delta, and your delta waves kind of connect you inside of your body. So if you're very disconnected from your body, you could have a delta wave issue, right?
Is that what you experienced? Because you said in one of your talks that you've given that up until 30 years old, you didn't feel emotions.
No.
And that was this delta wave that was probably inhibited?
That was probably a piece of it. But what happens with a lot of people that experience a lot of trauma, and especially a lot of body, physical, violating trauma, is that your body and your brain wires you to basically protect itself. So there's something called the Polyvagal Theory by Dr. Stephen Porges, a genius doctor. And he talks about the states of your vagus nerve. And when you're ventral vagal, that's when you're open and connected. But when you're dorsal vagal, that's when you're shut down, you're in freeze state. And that's literally your hormones, everything, your vagus nerve inside of your body that's disconnecting you from yourself. So I walked around in freeze for all of those years, not feeling emotions. That's when people go through something super traumatic and they can't even cry because their nervous system, their vagus nerve is so stuck in that position in freaking sympathetic or dorsal that they are so disconnected from themselves. So you have to, that's why I always say, like, trauma and shadow work, it's a body brain thing. You have to work on the hardware, the suit, to be able to feel and connect like you're supposed to. That's why I teach so much shadow work, because it is almost impossible for some people to walk around feeling connected. I mean, there was a woman that went to one of my events, bless her heart, her son had committed suicide. And she told me, I can't even cry. She's like, I tried to, I can't even cry. I'm like, you're in deep freeze. So you have to learn how to get your body out of these physical states so you're able to emotionally and energetically connect to yourself again.